this was our fourth movie together. Yeah, this was our fourth film. So I know that, you know, Steven thinks in cinematic terms. He thinks faster than he talks. And I know now after having, and the movies that I made with Steven were very different one from the other. You know, Saving Private Ryan was this, you know, emotional piece of historical documentation along with this other kind of like heartbeat to it. The Terminal was this, you know, one-off set piece that was looking at a very specific, almost American behavior at this time kind of story. Catch Me If You Can, I jumped on. I called them up and I said, hey, I know it's Leo's movie, but if anybody's playing this FBI guy and they drop out, let me know. I feel as though the process that I have with Steven, my requirement is to show up ready to perform as it's going to be in the movie. You don't slowly gain speed. And in fact, on this film, on Bridge of Spies, I started getting together with the actors long before we started making the movie. I called Mark Rylance. I talked to Scott Shepard. We had all the guys that were the other, you know, the CIA guys. And we would meet days, sometimes weeks in advance of shooting the scene just to go over the scenes, even if it was just the dialogue. Because I knew, and sometimes I would explain to the guys, I said, guys, this is how it works with Steven. Show up ready. Show up knowing what you want to do. Because as long as you are doing what you want to do, Steven will react to it and have something to play with. Because it's gonna be mapped out. There's not going to be a time of exploration or experimentation. While you're shooting is when you experiment and explore. Because Steven will change shots and get stuff that you never planned for in a million years. When you take on somebody who actually lived and did this stuff, I feel a huge responsibility not to monkey around with his motivations or the motivations that really went down. Now, I don't look anything like Jim Donovan. Jim Donovan was a pale, beefy Irishman. You know, I am not any of those things. Those people do work that I can't even begin to fathom, and all just looks like homework to me. And they always seem to be just barely operating in time in order to get it all done. But when you see the end result and having it be so evocative that even I, who know it's fake, find myself lingering on it as long as possible, because that's as close as I'll ever get to the time and place. It's special talents. When you're dealing with a film that's only going to be lasting for about 2 hours, it has to take on some other sort of patina. It has to be almost like a backdrop to what's going on. And for those who recognize it, it's hilarious because we can remember TV dinner commercials. But it's nothing new to the people that are there. I mean, it's not unique to them. It's just, you know, it's just another commercial on TV. That kind of stuff ends up being, if you're not careful, it overtakes the movie and it becomes nothing but a celebration of the kitschy aspect of it. But if you do it right, like I think Steven has in this, it just becomes it becomes one of the logs in the log cabin of the, you know, of the fort that takes place, you know, in the 1800s. Well, when I read the screenplay for the first time and I realized that this is going to be the ultimate moments of whether Donovan has succeeded or not is going to be about a ringing telephone, you know, between the Gleiniger Bridge and Checkpoint Charlie. And I just said, Steven is going to go to town on that. Because everybody knows that we're just waiting. It's waiting. That's all it is. And I don't know of anybody who can do waiting, you know, with having more stuff wound into it than, in this case, the screenplay and Mr. Spielberg.